that when you see the name Bartimaeus, it simply means son of Timaeus. They identified Bartimaeus by his daddy. The name Bartimaeus means unclean. So what you have here is a fella by the name of Bartimaeus in a filthy city with a dirty name, begging Jesus for some help. I want to point out to you this morning that they identified him not as Timaeus' son. They recognized him as Bartimaeus, or rather, they didn't give him his own identity. They called him the blind, begging man. What are you saying, preacher? I'm saying that you got to grow to the point in your life that folks start recognizing you by your condition and start recognizing you by who you are in God. They recognized him by who his daddy was. Can I get a witness in here this morning? Say, preacher, I don't want to be recognized who my daddy was because my father was a rolling stone. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. All your daddy wasn't church going men. Some of them had a baby over here and a baby over there. And wherever they laid their hat, that was their home for a minute. But don't connect me with my daddy. Understand, I got a relationship with my real father. But preacher, who is your real father? His name is Jesus. The Bible said they called him blind. They identified him by what was going on in his life. There's some people in here right now, they don't know your name. All they know is that you're the one that got married and your husband left you. There's some people in your neighborhood, they don't know a whole lot about you. All they know is that they came and got you. You know the lady that came and got their furniture the other day. You know the one that man that got his car repossessed. You know the one that got laid off. But you can't allow people to define you by what you've been through. Somebody shout hallelujah. Do me a favor, give your neighbor a high five. Say, neighbor, I'm greater than what I've been through. Matter of fact, I'm greater than what I'm going through. Because what I'm going through right now don't define me, because it's not how I start, but it's how I finish. Let me preach in here today, Zion. Don't you call me by what I'm going through. You call me what God calls me. He calls me more than a conqueror. He calls me an overcomer. He calls me friend. Don't you dare call me anything but a child of God. So they identify him by what he's been going through. Is there anybody here can testify? Say, preacher, people identify me with my struggle, but my struggle doesn't control me. It's just what I'm dealing with at the moment. But my God is greater, and that's why I understand just because I'm going through. Let me pause and preach right there and tell somebody in here who's going through. As long as you're going through, you'll be all right. But you got to understand, don't stop in the middle of it. Just keep moving whatever you got to do, and understand that the place I'm in right now is not the end of the road. Well, preacher, give me an example. You remember when Jesus died, when they buried him, they didn't bury him in his own tomb. They buried him in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. Well, preacher, why did they do that? Because Jesus didn't need it, but just for the weekend. Have you ever rented a car for the weekend? Have you ever got a hotel room for the weekend? When you depended on somebody else for a ride, sometimes you got to bite your tongue when you don't want to. Let me preach to the men there. Sometimes when you need somebody to give you a couple extra dollars, sometimes you got to humble yourself and hold back what you really want to say because you need some help from them. I come to tell you my help don't come from the men, but my help comes from the Lord. He was sitting, begging on the side of the road, blind, dirty, son of a loser, in a bad place. Can y'all understand what I'm saying? Can I tell you that sometimes good things can happen in bad places? Uh-oh. Sometimes you can be in the wrong place and still catch a miracle from God. Y'all ain't understanding what I'm saying. Have you ever been hanging out with some folk that was acting wild and some stuff jumped off, but God let you get out of it? That's what God does. He'll let you, even though you're in the wrong place, God will let you walk out of it like nothing happened in the first place. Blind, begging. You know, don't nobody like a beggar. Some of y'all won't even go to 7-Eleven on 27th Street.